In today's video, we're going to talk about reeds. If you like the video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell for future episodes. Let's start by talking about how to prep your reeds. To begin, go ahead and put the thin side of the reed in your mouth on top of your tongue. Let it rest there for about 2 to 3 minutes. You could actually do this while you're assembling your instrument. Let the reed be the last thing you put on your instrument. It should go on the mouthpiece last, and the mouthpiece go on the instrument after you've assembled the whole instrument. And one alternative is to soak the reed with the thin part of the reed down in a small cup of water. Make sure that the water is no more than the tip of the reed, and let it soak there for about 2 to 3 minutes max. You only want to soak your reed in water about once or twice. Try not to do that too much. If you moisten the reed too much, it'll absorb too much water and it'll die out quickly. So after you've placed your reed on the mouthpiece and you start playing, it's too difficult to blow into the mouthpiece because the reed's too stiff. With your thumb, go ahead and gently rub the reed up and down for about 10 to 30 seconds. Not too long, and also be careful with the tip of the reed. You only want to do this once when the reed is new. This will help break in your reed so it's able to play a lot quicker and become more effective immediately. Another option to breaking in a reed is just to practice on it for a long period of time. That's the longer approach. If that works best for you, definitely go ahead and do that. Another alternative is to get a little device called the Reed Geek, and there's a whole tutorial on the Reed Geek on YouTube, so definitely look that up and find out more information on how to use a Reed Geek and how to break in the reed. I could create a whole video on just how to use a Reed Geek, so definitely look that up and see if that would work best for you to break in your reed. Another thing about reeds is that they come in all different brands and all different sizes. They go from 1.5 to up to probably 4 or 5. Here's one tip about reeds. Reed sizes are not technically based on ability. The longer you play doesn't mean that you're going to be on a size 5 reed. It doesn't really work that way. It has a lot to do with physiology. Everyone's mouth is different. The way everyone blows into an instrument is significantly different. Everyone's mouthpiece is different. So those are all big factors in terms of what reed size is best for you. One thing to observe is make sure that if it's difficult to blow into, or if you're overplaying or running out of air too quickly, you may want to consider going to a softer reed. On the other side, if it's too easy to blow into, or you're having difficulty with intonation, playing in tune, or if you're squeaking a lot, or if your reeds aren't lasting very long, your reed may be too thin and you want to go up a size. Go to your local music store and see if you could buy single pack reeds, individuals, as opposed to the box. I don't recommend to buy a box of reeds if you're just trying out a half size stronger reed or half size smaller. That could be too costly and you may not use the entire reed. That reed may not even work for you at all. So if you could go to your music store and just buy individual reeds as you're testing out your reed size, that would probably work out best. Once you find the right size reed, then go ahead and purchase a box, and you could stay on that box and that size of reed for as long as you need to. So just remember that the reed size is not based on ability. I had a teacher once tell me that when I was in high school that I should be on a size 3.5 reed. Because I've been playing at the time 5-6 years. I put on a size 3.5 reed and I could barely make a sound out of the instrument. Way too strong. So yeah, reed size is not based on ability or length of time that you've been playing. Just remember, you want to use the reed size that will give you the best tone quality. One thing to remember, to find the right reed size, you should be able to play softly and be able to play loud with that same reed size without losing tone quality and without distorting and also without squeaking. So make sure that you're able to have good flexibility with volume up and down the instrument without squeaks or distortion. Now there are also many types and many brands of reeds. For my beginners, I typically recommend beginning students to start with the size 2.0 reed. That's the perfect reed size. Now sometimes even that reed is too difficult for students to play on. From there, I recommend students to go back to 1.5. That's the softest reed you could get. So remember, base it off of playability. If it's too difficult to play, definitely go back a half-size reed. I also recommend my students to pick up Royal brand reeds. They're pretty basic in cut and pretty consistent. So Royal size 2 reeds are the starter reeds of my choice that I recommend to my students. As our embouchure begins to develop and we get control of air, we can gradually increase our reed sizes. And again, you'll know when it's time to bump up to a size 2.5 reed. Listen to your tone quality, listen to your response. And if you hear squeaks or distortion, you probably should bump up a half-size reed. There are many different brands of reeds that are out there. For beginners, I recommend the Royal brand reeds. For someone that's advanced level, I would recommend the Van Doren reeds. If you're playing classical music, Van Dorens are typically the go-to reed for classical music, whether saxophone, clarinet, so I'd recommend Van Dorens. If you're playing jazz, I recommend the Java reeds. There are many other brands out on the market. Feel free to try them out, and best thing to do, again, purchase individual reeds. That way you could try different brands and get a feel as to what would work best for you in your own individual playing. There are also synthetic reeds out on the market, like Leger and Fiber Reed by Harry Hartman. These tend to cost a bit more, significantly more, just for one single reed. For instance, the Hartman reeds run for about $40 for one reed, but these reeds do last a very long time. I would recommend advanced students only to try out synthetic reeds. In order to know what reed size and what reed type would work best for you, you definitely have to have a developed embouchure and have your airflow developed as well. So you have to have a basic technique locked in to be able to get a good reading as to which reed will work best for you. Next thing to talk about is how long do these reeds last? I would recommend to play in a cane reed, bamboo reed, for about 2 to 3 weeks maximum. That depends if you're practicing between an hour, maybe an hour and a half a day. Will last you about 2 weeks. Sometimes you get 3 weeks out of that. If you're playing 3 hours a day, you'll definitely have less than 3 weeks of time to use that reed. Another thing you want to do is take a look at your reed in the light. Hold it up to the light, and you can take a look at the reed fibers just like this. You should be able to see the reed fibers reach vertically from the bottom to the tip of the reed. As you play on a reed longer, it will become clearer, more opaque, also pale in color. The longer you play on the reed, the worse the reed condition will get. Here's a few examples of a good reed and also a reed that's been played on for a very long time. This reed that's been played on for a very long time is one from one of my students that I noticed that he was playing on. He was having some issues with distortion, and I had him take off his reed and change it out, and I saw those markings that's on it. So if you see anything growing on the reed, such as mold, black dots, you definitely want to toss out that reed. So that's about it about the reed talk. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a question in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Also, don't forget to give the channel a like, subscribe to the channel for future videos, and ring that notification bell to be notified once videos are posted. Thank you. I'll see you next time.